Warning: federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Let's talk about real life issues, love and relationships. Let's have a good time with the missus, yeah. Celebrities. Let's talk about current events. Let's talk about things you don't see on regular TV. So join in on Peachy Time. Peachy Time. Tune in on Peachy Time. Peachy Time. Come join us on Peachy Time. Peachy Time. Join us on Peachy Time. Peachy Time. Yeah.
Ashley Green puts back a tiny memorial in front of her Louisville home.
This is my memorial for him.
3 years ago, Green says she was suffering from an addiction to cocaine and had lost custody of her children and her home. She says she found out she was pregnant and entered a treatment facility 3 days later.
I was ecstatic. I was like, this is my second chance.
Police question you?
Yes, so the police did question me. 2 months after he had died is when we got the toxicology report. And that's when they came to me. CPS actually contacted me, and they were like, we need to talk to you because your child had fentanyl in his system. And I'm like,
Knowing that he saved me from addiction and only to die from somebody else's addiction, it ignited a fire in me to where I started advocating.
Green Winter says she's been sober for 6 years and stopped taking drugs when she got pregnant with Cash.
So my end goal is to make sure he's not forgotten and that he changes the world. Baby. And baby Cash will not be forgotten, baby. You best believe that. Especially now that they done came over here to Peachy Tea Time, baby. Peachy Tea Time, Peachy Tea Time. Hey, you guys. Welcome to Peachy Tea Time, Peachy News Edition. The very last show for 2025, baby. Baby, we done been through it. Take me through there. Do you hear me? Baby, we done been through so much this year, 2025. This is our last show, y'all, for 2025. 2026, baby. All I gotta say is I'm taking y'all through there. Okay, I'm taking y'all through there. Just like I've done for the past 4 years. Next year we'll be walking into 5 years of Peachy Tea Time. I'm so thankful to God. Do you hear me? I'm so thankful to God. I will be doing a quick live after the show because I know a lot of y'all saw my video that I posted today I wasn't a happy camper at all. So if you did see it, make sure you stick around. After the show, I'll come back live on my phone, not on the platform. Because I got something to tell y'all. How good God is, okay? How good God hears me. Cause that he do. Okay, what y'all say? He hear me. But y'all, we are here tonight. We are here for baby Cash, baby. Baby Cash. Baby. I think she named him correctly when she said baby Cash. Cause baby Cash on these pictures on these tribute videos, baby Cash look like he has some cash. Okay. Baby Cash look like he has some cash, baby. When I tell you he was fly, 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 okay? And he is absolutely handsome. Absolutely handsome. This story is so unfortunate. But as we all know, God doesn't make any mistakes at all. But we are here tonight to celebrate this baby. Why are we celebrating this baby? And he ain't here because he ain't here with us down here in this evil earth. He up there in baby heaven. Yes, he in baby heaven. Having baby heaven fun things. Okay. Doing fun things in baby heaven. All right. So we are going to make sure that we love on this mama tonight. We gonna love on her sister tonight. Auntie Carmelo. Auntie down there. She coming up. She coming up too. Okay. But I love them both. Baby, Ashley down there crying already. Okay. I see her. And I told her I know she gonna shed some tears, but at the same time, she also gonna smile tonight just as well. So Ashley, baby, we love you. We all are praying for you. One thing over here at Peachy Tea Time, we ain't got to know you. We just love you. And we're gonna continue to pray for you. Okay. Now, I gotta bring up my girl. Because I know y'all like, well, is Jason here? Jason will be back in 2026. Okay, for the very first show. Okay, he'll be back then. But until then, us ladies, you know how we do. So let me go ahead and bring up our counselor lady, Miss Charlotte. Miss Charlotte.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Making sure.
Girl, yes, we can hear you
Okay.
great. How are you, lovely lady?
I'm wonderful, and you looking so bright and cheerful over there. I don't know what you talking about. All that mess. Nah, girl, you got a smile on you today. It's
Thank
all over you.
you.
It's all over you.
Thank you so much. That's why I said I can't wait to tell y'all after the show, everything that has happened just from the time that I did that video, up until tonight. So I will be coming back tonight to let y'all know. But as of right now, Charlotte, you already know it's that last show for 2025, and we did not come to play.
Okay.
But we ain't come to play. Charlotte, it's something about the first show of the year and the last show of the year. I don't know
Okay.
what it is, but it's something about those two shows. We take all our shows serious here at Peachy Tea Time. Don't get it twisted. But it's just something about the first show and the last show. So when I tell y'all, you definitely want to stick around. You want to be here for this entire show tonight. This show is something that we have never, ever, ever seen before here on Peachy Tea Time. I will say that. We've never had a story like this before. We've lost the youngest baby I think we've had that we lost on PTT time was 1 year old. And that was through getting beat to death. Okay. So this story is something different. The baby Cash, that is, baby Cash was 3 years old. So we gonna talk tonight. We gonna talk tonight. Me and Ashley have already talked. Ashley know what's about to happen tonight. And we're gonna ask some questions. We're gonna ask some questions. She's gonna give us the answers that she can possibly give us. Because this still is, I do believe it's an open case still. And if it's not an open case, baby, we want to try to get it reopened, okay? Because we got some things we need to talk about. So, Charlotte, is there anything you want to say on the last show for the year before we get started and bring up our guests?
When you brought that up, it just made me realize this makes a year. Like I some kind of way I
Oh
missed this little
shoot.
I mean, like I've been with y'all the whole year, you and Jason. That's a blessing. It's a blessing to
Yeah.
be here. It's a blessing to go into another year with you all and doing what you set out to do. And again, I want to make sure that everybody gives you your flowers because you deserve
Thank
them. All the
you.
things that you do through the community and everything else. I want to make sure that everybody gives you your flowers, especially me, giving you your
Oh,
flowers now. So, but bigger and better things in 26. We're gonna speak it into existence.
yes. I'm so glad I saw you in Sam's Club.
I know, right? Just running my mouth, being,
You know,
sassy as usual.
y'all, I was talking to somebody else, and she said, "Excuse me, I heard what you was saying over there. I wasn't trying to be nosy or nothing, but I heard what you said. So, what is it again that you do?
But
Am
she
I lying, Charlotte?"
and is nosy all in your conversation while I was fussing at the lady, and is.
She sure was, baby. But when I tell you it was nothing but God, do you hear me? Nothing but God. Charlotte has been a very big asset to Peachy Tea Time. And girl, do you know I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm so thankful that you rocking it out with us. I wouldn't want another counselor lady, baby.
Okay,
Because
it
Charlotte,
ain't
she don't just
no.
show up and show out on here, baby. She show up and show out in the community with me too. Okay. So I thank you so, so much. But now it is that time, baby. It is that time. Ashley, girl, your folks is out here. They ready. They is ready for you. I see them in the chat, y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. I see y'all. Please share this video. Share this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Please hit the like button. If this is your first time, if this is your very first time here at PGT Time, PGT Time is about the community, okay? We are about shedding light to all the people that has lost their loved ones due to gun violence, domestic violence, the prison system, the police. We do missing person cases, and we also do suicide cases just as well. Okay, we bring your family up if you're willing to come up. We bring your cousins, your aunties, your uncles. Only 8 of them, though. Only 8 of them. We limited to 8. We limited to 8. So, but we bring your family, your support team up with you. And baby, we just love and pour all into you. I make a tribute video, especially for you and your family and your friends as well. Each family has gotten a tribute video, and I'm so thankful to God that He has poured into me to where I'm able to create these videos for y'all just as well. So make sure y'all stick around for Baby Cash. Yes, his tribute video, the last tribute video of 2025. All right. I know Ashley like, when am I coming up? Baby, it is y'all time to shine, baby. It is y'all time to shine. But first, I gotta bring up Auntie. I gotta bring up Auntie Carmelo. Yes, we're gonna bring up Auntie Carmelo first, y'all. Auntie Carmelo said, "Hey, she here with it. She here with it." And here she goes.
Hello.
Hey, Auntie Carmelo, girl, how you doing?
You have to excuse me. I have the baby.
Girl, that is okay. We all had them. We all had our babies, they just grew up on us. That's our issue. They just grown up. But thank you so so much for
Oh,
coming,
no
supporting
problem.
your sister, of course. And I know you've been supporting her since day one. I
Oh,
already know.
yeah,
I can
most
see.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And hey,
Most
baby,
definitely.
how you doing, baby, little one?
Trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to put him to sleep.
Girl, well, good
Actually,
luck with me
this is
talking. Good
actually
luck.
his bedtime.
I understand. But please tell us your relation. I just said you the auntie, but tell us again for the ones that wasn't listening. Tell us your
I
relation to Baby Cash and a fond memory of Baby Cash.
am Baby Cash's aunt, Ashley's big sister. Um, I do have a vivid memory in my head. We were all actually, we have there's 7 siblings, so we have a family gathering, each month. And I remember one of the gatherings that we had, it was over my house, and it was, hot outside, so we was all out on the porch. And my sister had made a statement to one of my brothers and was like, um, Lord forbid he goes jumping off the porch, and he's standing right there. I don't think he's really paying attention to what she's saying because he's playing with like one of his uncles. So basically she makes the statement towards my brother and was like, well, Lord forbid he jumps off the steps and, runs towards the street because he's fast. He's really fast. So no sooner as she said that, he literally jumped off the porch, ran towards the street, but he didn't go too far to the street. He stopped, he turned around, and he started laughing. Like, like he was playing with us. Because like I said, we didn't know that, he was paying attention. All we knew was he was, playing with one of his uncles at the time, and he just all of a sudden just took straight off. So everybody just started running after him, like, "Oh my God, no, 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 get him!" And no soon as we said that, he paused, like in mid run. He stopped
Wow.
and he turned around and he just busted out laughing. Like,
Mm.
and that made everybody else laugh. So that's one of my best memories of him because he had everybody's spirit. Like he knew what he was doing. And he wasn't nothing but I think he was 3, if I'm not mistaken. This was right before, yeah, probably before he passed away. Maybe I say give or take a month or two
Oh, she said he was
before he
2.
passed away.
She down there
He
going
was
like,
2.
it was two, two, two.
He was 2. Okay.
Look, she got her
Okay.
fingers up. She like, it was 2. Well,
But
thank you
yeah,
so much.
yeah, he was a bright, bright, bright baby. He brightened everybody's day. Everywhere he went, people fell in love with him because he has these eyes that just they are so cute. He got away with murder with me. He got I'm usually the disciplinary auntie, I'm the auntie that stays on you. But that baby right there, oh yeah.
Them
Got away
eyes.
with everything. Like I
Oh,
wouldn't even watch my own grandbaby. I mean, but with him, yeah, bring him on. Bring him on. It was just something
Yeah.
about him and his characteristics and his personality that it just made your day. Like he is truly, truly missed. I miss him.
Oh. Yeah, when she sent me this picture of him, this picture right
that's
here
so good.
will brighten anyone's
I'm
day.
I'm telling you, and that's this the kid that he was. And people would
Oh,
literally stop what they're doing to, either interact with him.
Yep.
They didn't even know him, but because he came into a room and anything that he did was just funny. Like it. I really can't explain it. He was just one of those kids that you immediately fell in love with. Immediately.
I
Like no
believe
ifs,
it.
ands, buts about it. Immediately.
I definitely
So
can believe that. I said when I saw that
mhm.
picture, I said that's that picture that when anybody run up to him and see that smile, you can't do nothing but pick him up. You just
You
want to pick
can't
him
do nothing
up.
but yeah, yeah. He was that kid. He was that
Yeah.
kid. And I do have another, like just a short memory.
Hmm.
It was for my birthday. This is the last time that I was with him. It was for my 40th birthday. I mean, no, 41st birthday. And make a long story short, every birthday I do like a birthday dinner, but there's no kids allowed, so because where I go, we drink and stuff like that. But I didn't want any kids. So my sister was like, well, I don't have anybody to, watch Cash. I said, you know what? No, bring them on. And I'm absolutely glad that I said that and I did that because, we didn't know that was going to be my last time anyway, interacting with my nephew. And I have a video of him singing happy birthday to me. So,
Oh.
that will always, you know, be vivid in my head that was my last time with my, and I didn't, like I said, nobody knew, I didn't know, but I'm so glad that I told her to bring them. I'm so
Yes.
glad. So,
Yeah.
because I think I would have probably, resented the fact that if I didn't do it, I would have
Mhm.
felt bad and I would have been, hard on myself because I'm like, why didn't I just spend that last time? But like I said, nobody knows. Nobody knows the time of
Exactly.
day. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that I had that opportunity to,
Yeah.
spend it with him. And he was the only child. He was the only kid. The only kid
Yes.
there. The only child there.
Wow. And I bet you he enjoyed every bit of it too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and everybody in the restaurant enjoyed him. He was just running around and just bumping into things and bumping into people, and it was just I
Oh,
think it was just the life of the party with him being that little.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Well, we
did. We
are
enjoyed
about to bring up your sister. Your baby sister. She like, I'm the oldest sister. So we are
right.
about to bring your little sister up here, baby. Again, Ashley, we are praying for you. We're gonna help you get through this show tonight. And we about to bring her up, y'all. Here is Mama Ashley, girl. Mama Ashley. Hey, Mama Ashley, how are you?
Hey, hanging in there.
Yes, hey, look, and she
Just
ain't lying,
trying.
y'all. She is definitely hanging in there, cause baby, that tissue just been, and then you see her laughing, then she rubs them off.
Okay.
But Ashley, thank you so, so, so much for trusting me. Trusting me with Baby Cash story. When I first reached out to you, I had told you that I never heard of this story at all. I literally was just scrolling, y'all. That's all I was doing was just scrolling. And as I scrolled, I saw a video. Now I ain't gonna tell y'all. Ashley knows, but I ain't gonna tell y'all what I told Ashley what made me stop the video. Tell it, I tell you later. But I stopped it and I had no idea what this young lady, excuse me, I had no idea what this young lady was about to say. I just know what I saw. And I was like, "Oh, let me see what she's talking about." And when I heard the story, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I gotta reach out to her. It's a must. And I did reach out to her. And then by my surprise and through the grace of God, she reached back out. And baby, we've been locked in ever since. Locked in ever since.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on to Peachy Tea Time, Peachy News Edition, and sharing Baby Cash story. We got to take it to the beginning, baby. We got to take it to the beginning, to the beginning, to
Yeah.
the beginning. Okay, when Baby Cash first got here, first entered into this
Yeah.
world. Now, Baby Cash got siblings.
Yes. Yes.
Baby Cash got siblings. So let's start with that. How many children do you have?
I have three altogether. My oldest daughter, her name's Kiara. She's 23. And then I have a 15-year-old son. His name's Kavari.
Okay, okay. And then Cash came along.
Yes. Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
what was going on in your life at that time when you found out that you was pregnant with baby Cash?
Well, at the time, I was two and a half, no, almost 4 years into a cocaine addiction, addiction, a crack cocaine addiction. Just experimenting at 26. It went unnoticed for about 2 years. I had custody of my kids, had a house, had a car, had a job. I had all the things I was supposed to be having. And a close friend had introduced me at 26 years old to cocaine. I had never tried cocaine, never experimented with anything besides the X pill here and there and weed. So when I started experimenting with that, I thought that I could handle it. I thought that I could control, my addiction. I didn't even know I was addicted until I lost my kids. 2 years into my addiction, I got pulled over with the drug dealer, and me and him both got arrested. My first charge and only charge ever, for drug related anything. Just I've never been arrested, but that one time. So CPS got involved, and they wanted me to, of course, abstain from using, get a job because I quit my job and things of that nature. But I didn't. And so within a month of them being involved, they took my kids. They took my two oldest kids. And so I lost
And you
the
was 26,
apartment. Yeah, no, at 28. At 28 at
28.
that
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
So but I had started my, smoking right after I turned 26. And it was like I turned 26 April of that year and I started in November. I do remember that. I remember everything as far as that goes. Yeah, I remember how it went. So like right before I turned 27. So by 28 the kids got taken and I lost the apartment and became homeless. I couldn't stop smoking. It was just so it had such a hold on me. Like it was such a strong hold on me that I'd never felt nothing like that before. I love being a parent. I love being a mother. I love, I had my daughter first. I always wanted the son. So when I had my son, I was excited about him. And he was 6 when he got taken by CPS. So that really crushed me. Losing them actually sent my addiction into like I went harder because I had lost my kids.
Mm.
I lost myself, by losing my apartment and becoming homeless and things of that nature. So for 2.5 years, after losing them, I walked the streets and I really wasn't a street walker because I had a designated place to stay. The person that started me on the drugs, he allowed me to stay with him in the basement and things of that nature. But because because I was his enabler, I basically had to go out and not just work for my addiction, but I had to work for his too. So that's what made me become a sort of a streetwalker to where I would start meeting random people. And because of my character and how I handled myself on the streets, like nobody knew I was a smoker until I told them I was a smoker. It was like it was undetected until, I just started showing signs like as far as losing weight, but like my mental and things of that nature, I talk just like this. Like it didn't affect me like some addicts it does, but it was hard to stop. So
Now, did you have a tight family? Was y'all you and your
yes, we was very
sisters and
yes,
parents
yes.
and stuff?
I went to her house one time to stay with her, but she had her rules. You knew what I was going through. She had her rules, and I just didn't want to bring that to her house, knowing that I wasn't gonna be able to stop smoking. So within like 30 days, I left. I didn't
Oh,
stay there long at all. Yeah, I just want to respect her house. That's my big sis. We've been through everything together. Like it was a shock to my whole family when they found out that I was using crack cocaine. Like it was like, what? Actually? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm using. So, and they wouldn't have known had I not had that drug stop, that arrest, should I say? But I'm grateful for everything I went through. It really molded my character. It molded me. It gave me insight. It gave me a foundation. It really did. I'm very grateful I got out of it, but I can't credit myself for getting out of it. Like I said, at 2.5 years, when I had not been involved with my kids with CPS, they sent me a termination of rights letter and told me, hey, you got 3 months to comply or we're going to terminate your rights with your kids. And I'm like, I can't lose my son. My daughter was best. She was like 16 and stuff. She knew me, and my son, he was 6. He knew me, but I was just like, I can't lose my baby. I can't lose it. I love my daughter to death, and me and her are like this. It was that boy that I was more like, I was scared to lose both of them. But my son, my first son, like the one I dreamed about, like, I just wanted to be a boy mom. So, because my daughter's, me and her are twins. Like, I had her at 14. So that's
okay.
like, we came up like sisters basically, but she knows she respects me. She's very respectful, but me and her relationship's really tight. But with my son, I was just like, man, I can't lose him. So when I got that letter, I had already been struggling. I tried rehab 2-3 times. Didn't last 4 days, 5 days. Each time I walked out. So I dropped to my knees when I got that letter. I begged God. I had dope in my hand. I listened to my church music throughout my whole addiction. That was my go-to. And I wrote in my journal. While I smoked, I wrote in my journal. Like I didn't really congregate with people and sit around and just get high. Like I just went out, prostituted, got my money for the drugs, and went back to the basement and wrote in my journal. That was what I did while I smoked. But because I was so lost, and I wrote down my thoughts and what I was going through and how I missed my kids and things of that nature. But that particular night, after getting that letter, I dropped to my knees. I was smoking dope, had the pipe in my hand. I'm blowing out smoke and everything, but I'm talking to God. I'm like, Lord, I need help. I can't do this on my own. Send me a sign. And then
So you wanted to quit.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to quit. I desired to quit. I asked God to take away the cravings, the desire to smoke. And a week after I prayed that prayer on my sister Carmela's birthday on March the 24th, something told me to take a pregnancy test. And I found out I was pregnant with baby Cash. And I was ecstatic. I was happy. I felt like this was my second chance. I felt like God was like, if you can't do it for you, you do it for this baby. And I did. I checked myself into rehab 3 days later, you know, because I didn't want what I was doing to affect him. Not to be funny, but I watched the Losing Isaiah,
Yeah.
I watched that Losing Isaiah movie growing up. We grew up on that movie. And by me saying that I would never do what Halle Berry had done, and not just Halle Berry. I told myself my whole life before I started using that I would never try coke, like and crack and stuff. I'm like, I'd never do that, because my mom, she had fell victim to addiction too. So, and like my sister said, there's 7 of us, and by my mom having that addiction, she wasn't around for all 7 of us, and I just vowed that I would never do it. And that's why that's why I said, like, he gave me after recovering and stuff, and getting out of addiction, I look at things different. I tell people never say never, because I said I'd never try crack and I did. And it was just by the grace of God and by him sending me cash. I could have took a different route. There was people out in the streets with me that were pregnant, that were using, that were they couldn't quit. They continuously used, and their babies came out addicted, and they got taken away and put in the system, and family had them and things of that nature. And they'll come right back 3 or 4 days after delivering a baby. They right back out in the street. And I seen that. And so yeah, I witnessed that with my own eyes. But when I got on the streets, I didn't know the street life. I had to adapt. And I was scared while I was out there, but I was like, I know God got me. I was raised up in church, and my mama, they gave us back to God when we was all born. So I knew I was covered, but actually going through that, it was scary. I ran into all sorts of characters out there, and by the grace of God, I didn't catch no diseases. I never got physically harmed. I never got raped or any of that taken advantage of. There might have been a swerve. There was one swerve where he gave me fake money. So I felt like, I felt a little bit bamboozled. But so, but from there, I learned my lesson real quick. I started checking money after that incident. I started checking money. And then there was an incident where, I exchanged favors for the drugs, ended up being drywall. So I never did that again,
Wow.
like seriously. I got some stories, but it was a learning experience. And I'm just grateful that by cash coming to me and God sending cash to me, I'm here today. I didn't know nothing about fentanyl until my baby died. So
Wow. And we're gonna get to that. I just want to bring your sister up for a second. Because I want to ask her a couple things. Auntie Mello, girl.
Hey,
I just want to know, when did you find out that Ashley was, on drugs?
Oh, let me see if I can remember. Um, Actually, I found out she was on it. Uh, she was babysitting my daughter. I
Yep,
had her
that's what I
baby.
was
I had her to watch, my daughter while I went to work. So I came home one day, but before I say this, I have my younger brother used to stay with her. And I remember him calling me one day and was like, sis, I think Ashley's on drugs. And I'm like, nah, don't say that about and because me and her, we really close. We like two peas in a pot. And I was very overprotective of her, so any bad things that anybody said about her, I'm on 1,000.
yeah.
So he was like, sis, she's using. I said, no, she's not. He was like, how you know? He said, I know what this stuff smells like. I live
Yeah.
with her. I know what it smells like,
Mhm.
So and I be around people, that do it. But he don't do it. He just, be around people that smoke it like that.
Mhm.
So he said, I know what it smells like. I'm familiar with the smell. He said, sister's using. I said, man, no, she's not. No, she's not. And we argued up and down. We had a bad argument to where I didn't speak to him for, I want to say a couple years. I want to say it was a while. It was a couple years. So fast forward to me finding out. Um, I had asked her to watch my daughter because I had to go to work. So me and my husband, we goes to pick her up. We knock on the door. Ashley comes to the door, but she cracks it. And I'm like, where's my child? What are you in there doing? She was like, she's with she went with her daughter to a neighbor's house. The daughter knows the neighbor, but my daughter doesn't know the neighbor. So I kind of felt some type of way about that. I'm like, Ashley, I don't know these people. You may know them, but I don't know them. I sent my daughter over to you. I didn't tell you to take her over to somebody else's house. So
Right.
I'm getting mad and I'm getting upset. And so finally she comes, yeah, I guess puts her clothes on. She gets in the car. I said, well, let's go over to the house, to go get her. So we go over to the apartment, which is in the same apartment complex. And we go over there. Ashley knocks on the door. They not even at the house where they supposed to be. So I'm like, at this time, I'm like, yeah, something ain't right. Something's going on because I know my sister would never allow this to happen. She did this doesn't
Mhm.
sound like her. This is not in her character. So
Right.
finally, make a long story short, the lady had told us, the mother of the child, that that my sister knew, told us that the kids were at the playground, which was maybe a block away from the apartment complex. So we go to the playground and ain't nobody. The kids were there, of course, but there's no adults. There's nobody in the park but them two.
Right.
Mhm.
And right then and there, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you smoking, you doing something, and maybe what little bro was saying is true because that was not in her character. She would never, have anybody's kids, unsupervised. She would never leave them
Mhm.
unsupervised. So,
Okay.
like I said, right then and there, I knew something was right.
Yeah.
I knew something was right.
And
All right.
then the verify that some things too. Our daughter was 2 at the time. She wasn't even. I
Mm-hmm.
think she was 2 or 3. It wasn't
Yeah,
even older than
that's it.
3. So
Yep.
that really was a red flag. And then the night that I got arrested for my charge for having drugs, I was babysitting her daughter that night too. So that's
Wow.
when it came out and confirmed that I was using
But
when they found out.
at that time, you didn't have custody of your kids at that time?
No, I did. Yeah,
You
I
did
had
have
custody of
Yeah, yeah,
them.
you
Make
did.
a little.
Yeah, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
had
okay.
custody of them. The night that I
Mm-hmm.
got arrested, I was still a full time mom, had my apartment. I just didn't have a job no more, but I had my apartment and I had my kids and everything. I was still functioning. It
Yeah.
wasn't until after CPS took the kids a month after I got charged with that cocaine charge and they stepped in, did I go downhill and start walking the streets.
So when did you ever get the two back?
So shortly after I found out I was pregnant, of course, I went into rehab, got back involved with CPS. By this time, my son was 9, and my daughter was well, he was turning 9. He was 8 when I got clean, and I got clean in March, and March 27th of 2019 is my clean date. So that
Amen.
year, Cash was born. And then, but my son, my oldest son, his birthday's in July, so he was 8 when I got clean, turning 9, and my daughter was 16. So,
Okay.
yeah, so she was about to age out, and matter of fact, she was 16, turning 17. So, she was
Okay.
aging out. So they was like, "Well, you just got to fight for your son." And during that time, after I had Cash, well, while I was pregnant with Cash, I had 18 drug screens coming up positive. Um, 18 out of all the months that they were drug testing me, they said before I had Cash, they was like, "Look, you had 18 drug tests come up positive. We don't know what's going on, but if you come back, if the baby comes back positive, then we're gonna either take him from you and put him with family, or you can go check into a mother and children's rehab with him." And I'm like, "Well, text him, because I was coming up positive and I wasn't using." And I was like, "Well, test him. I want y'all to test everything because my baby's clean. I haven't been using." And it was just so ironic that I was the only participant out of drug court. I was in Indiana at the time, but I was the only black participant, and I was the only participant that had used crack cocaine. And so they thought it was like how I had just suddenly quit. They told me, they was like, "It's rare we see things like that. We don't see people just quit. They got to wean off of crack and stuff like that." And I'm like, "No,
Mm.
I'm pregnant. I got a baby depending on me to make sure he comes out as healthy as possible." Because I was like 2 months pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. So I told him, I said, "Test everything." So when he was born, they tested his, to be safe before his results came back. They put me in the rehab, and I only stayed there for a week because within a week after he was born and that his test results came back, they called me and was like, "I don't know how this happened, but we tested his meconium, which is his first poop. We tested his placenta. We tested his blood. He's clean. He's negative. He doesn't have any thoughts."
So
And I
they were
told
trying
him,
to take baby Cash from you.
yeah, they
They
were
were
trying. They wanted to take my baby. I honestly believe that. And so I was a weed smoker before I tried anything. And that was my
trying.
thing. But for 2 years I didn't touch weed. I didn't drink. They didn't want me to drink while I was in drug court. For 2 years I fought for my son. Only and when I got clean, he was in foster care with with his sister, but because I reached back out and I got involved, they allowed me to find a relative. I found an aunt. Well, my aunt ended up being verbally abusive and over medicating him and physically abusive to him, all this type of stuff. Wasn't feeding him, of that, things down that nature. So during that time while I was trying to fight for him, um, things got messy with her. They got real messy, and I ended up at 2.5 years because they said my case was so stagnant. Like there was 3 phases of drug court, but I only got to phase 2, and it took me a year and a half to get to phase 2, even though it's a 9-month program. Like every 3 months, you're supposed to phase up, and then phase out. Well, because my drug screens kept on coming up positive, and they were sporadic, like I go a week with no good, with no positives, and then the next week 2 will come back, and then it got to the point where I was like, "I need y'all to do more drug tests on me. Why aren't y'all doing oral tests on me? I mean, a urine test on me." They were doing oral. And at the time I had, bad oral hygiene and stuff from the drugs and stuff. So I didn't know if it was in my glands still. None of that. I didn't end up finding out that cocaine can stay in your system, especially in your hair follicles, up to 7 years. I did not know that.
Wow.
We ended up doing her. I ended up pleading for a hair follicle because I'm like, "I'm innocent. Like, what are y'all doing on y'all's end?" And I was the only black participant in this program, though. I came to every court date. I was the first one. That's when COVID hit. I was the first one on the Zoom. I was the first one that logged in. I did all my classes they wanted me to. They asked for 6 NA meetings. I went to 8 of them. I gave them extra. I went above and beyond, and they actually told me in front of all the participants, they was like, "You're the ideal candidate for drug court if it wasn't for your drug screens." And I'm begging with them, like, "What are y'all doing, like, on y'all's end? Like, why are my tests coming up positive?" I'm like, "Well, can y'all add extra drug screens?" So they did. They had me drug tested testing 3 times a day sometimes. And that even went south because I would take 3 drug tests and only one would come up positive. The other 2 would be negative from 3 different companies. And the judge was so ornery. Instead of looking into why this was happening, she always said, I'm not questioning the drug court. I'm not questioning, the sponsors and the companies. If it's a positive, it's a positive. So that'll make me, just stay still. My case, it'll just stay still. 1 week I'm doing good. The next week I'm coming up positive. Then the next week I'm coming up positive. Then the week after that, I'm not. So that's how it went for 2 years. I got all my documents. I kept all my drug screens. I kept all my results. Yeah. And I fought them for my son. I went hard, it was hard actually I loved on Cash. I did. I loved him with everything. But at times it was just so hard having that void of my son because after a while, my oldest son, because after a while, like I said, they ended up saying that my case was stagnant and that it wasn't going nowhere. So they wanted me to either terminate my rights willingly or they would force me to sign them over, which would make them, because now they wanted a case on Cash because I'm coming up positive. So now they wanted a case on Cash, but his dad was involved and he lived in Kentucky. So that's where his dad came in the picture a lot. It got to the point where I would have his dad take him during the week so that he wouldn't be around while I was dealing with CPS. And I have him 2 days, on the weekend, only 2 days of the week, because I didn't want to jeopardize them saying, you know what, we just gonna come and take the baby because of these drug screens. Even though I was on time, even though I did whatever they asked me to. So yeah, it finally got to the point where, as far as the custody thing go, they came to me and they was like, look, if you don't sign your rights over willingly to your aunt, voluntarily is what they said, then if you continue to fight us for your son, we're going to involuntarily terminate your rights, and that gives us a bigger chance of not even going to trial or anything for Cash, and we'll just terminate your rights on him too. And I said, I can't have that. I can't have that. So I had to cut off a finger to save the hand. Cash was only 1.5 at the time that I signed my rights over to my son. So, and terminate my rights. But thank God. I mean, God's all in my story. Thank God he went to a woman that she'd seen me fight, and she actually worked for the system. And this is her first adoption and everything. And she was like, I seen you fighting for your son. And the day that Cash passed away is the day that she allowed my son to come back in my life. And he's been back with me ever since. Yeah, yeah. So that's why I said, God. I mean, because it was like I almost lost one child and to get another child back, and it hurts to look at it that way. But that's what happened. I lost one and gained the other one back.
Wow. Girl, yeah, I would definitely wanted you to share that story. I do know we're definitely here to talk about baby Cash, but we also here to spread awareness. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I thank you for telling us that story just as well. We're gonna go ahead and play the first video. Okay, we're gonna play the first video. I also have a picture that I want to show you because I want to know your first thought that comes to your mind when you see this picture. Okay, so let's get into the video first.
Okay.
When we come back, then that's when I will show that picture. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about the story. Here we go. Y'all.
A Louisville 3-year-old died of a drug overdose, and now his family is hoping for justice in his case.
WDRB's Valerie Chen explains what his mother's doing to raise awareness about the dangers of fentanyl.
At Green Meadows Cemetery.
Hi, baby. Mommy bought you some more balloons.
Mother Ashley Green Winters adds birthday balloons to her son's grave.
He was just a bundle of joy.
Cassius Ballanger, known as Baby Cash, would have been 6 years old last week.
That's one of my biggest spurs. It's like, life moves on when somebody dies, but the person whose child it was, our life stands still. So my end goal is to make sure he's not forgotten and that he changes the world.
His mother says Cash is now forever 3.
He passed away April 19th, of 2023.
She says the toddler's father called her saying Cash was unresponsive after staying at his house. The family thought the toddler died of natural causes.
Come July of that year, that's when the investigators called me and informed me it was from fentanyl poisoning.
What was your reaction when you heard that?
Knowing that my baby came in contact with that, and then finding out also that it was going to be hard to prove. The case was going to be hard to prove. I couldn't sit back and not do nothing, knowing that he saved me from addiction and only to die from somebody else's addiction. It ignited a fire in me to where I started advocating.
Green Winter says she's been sober for 6 years and stopped taking drugs when she got pregnant with Cash. Now she's on a mission to raise awareness about fentanyl. What kind of justice are you hoping happens for your son?
My baby mattered, and I'm going for a law. It's going to be called the Cash Act, Children Against Substance Harm Act, and to where everybody in the house is investigated, prosecuted, and held accountable when a child dies in their care.
Cash's father, Jeffrey Ballanger, also wants justice for his son. He tells WDRB he feels responsible, saying he made a bad judgment call when he let a homeless woman and her kids stay in his home and wonders if she brought drugs into the house. He also told us he had about 1 gram of cocaine in the home, but says it was on top of a cabinet. He says other adults were also at the house at the time. No one has been arrested. LMPD released a statement saying LMPD Homicide is continuing its ongoing overdose death investigation of the 3-year-old Cash Ballanger that occurred April of 2023. The case is still open and active. Anyone with additional information that may give more clarity can call our anonymous tip line at 502-574-LMPD.
These are all babies that have passed away from fentanyl. Some of them are receiving justice, some of them aren't.
Her t-shirt is a reminder of the dangers of the drug and a push for change.
All right. So, Ashley, I'm finna put this picture up, and before we go into the details on what happened, I want to know the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this picture. Here we go.
My
Look at
angel.
the
My angel. He was my angel. He really, he chose me. He chose me to be his mommy.
Oh, one thing about baby Cash, he came in this world fine, and he left fine. I mean, he was
Absolutely.
just the cutest little thing, just cute as ever. Now, take us back to April 19th, 2023. My birthday was actually April 12th. My birthday is
Oh
April 12th.
wow. I'm
Yeah.
April 5th and my daughter's is April 16th.
Oh,
So
wow. And
that
April 16th, that's my grandma's birthday.
yeah. And then my granny passed on April the 19th in 2004. So
Wow.
yeah, so we always said that my granny came to get him the day he passed. So okay. So we're rewind to that Friday because he died on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, April 19th. So typically throughout the week, I had him a week and his dad had a week. And we had just moved into our apartment, our house. Me and my husband, it's my first house. So I was very ecstatic to give Cash his own room. I was very ecstatic to have Cash have his own backyard so he can run as far as he wanted to without freaking out that he might get hit by a car. Because he was so fast. He was extremely fast. So that week before, I had told Jeff, I'm thinking, hey, now that we in this house and, I want my baby full time. I don't want to do the week here, week there. I'm missing him. I'm missing being a full time mom. You get the weekends. I'll take care of him during the week. And plus, his dad was sort of lacking on getting him to daycare and stuff like that. So that's sort of on time to where they were calling me, like, hey, you take your baby daddy. He can't come at 9:35. He got to be here at 9:30. So I'm like, yeah, I think I want my baby back in my care full time. So we had that conversation. And matter of fact, I don't even think we got to that conversation when Cash passed away. I relayed to him. I was like, man, I was just about to tell you I want him in my care. And he was like, well, you just got engaged, and I was gonna give him back to you because I wanted him to be with y'all. Y'all married, but we never got to it. It never happened. Because on my sister's 40th birthday or 41st birthday, that was the day I got engaged. It was a surprise for me. It was for her wedding, but I mean her birthday. But she turned it around and allowed my husband to propose to me on that day too. I had no idea. I had no idea. Yeah. So yeah, I got engaged March the 25th. We had her party a day after her birthday, but her dinner. But I got engaged March the 25th, and my baby died. I, I went from planning a wedding to planning a funeral within like 20 days. It was quick. Yeah, it was messed up. So all right. So the week before, uh because I used to visit him while he was at daycare. If I didn't have him that week, I go on the Wednesdays. So I go, he'll be at school or his little daycare and stuff. And I'll be missing him. So I'll pop in on him. And sometimes I'll do it 2 times a week before I got him on that Friday, or sometimes I'll just do it that Wednesday. And I had planned on doing it that Wednesday, but he ended up passing away. It was weird. It was crazy. So that Friday before he passed away, I had dropped him off daycare because I knew his daddy was getting him out the daycare for his week. And I'm like, Cash, he was real tired and drowsy. I was like, Cash, come back and give me my hug, Mommy's about to leave. And he acted like he didn't hear me. He kept walking. I'm like, Cash, come back and give mommy my hug. He kept on walking. I'm like, no, I need my hug. I said, Cash, come back and give mommy my hug. You never know. Something can happen to mommy. You might not see me again. Those were my words to him. That's the last conversation I had with Cash. And he came back. He came back. He turned around. He came back to me and gave me my hug. And I always treasure that because, he really, he heard me that last time. It was weird. And then the night before, it was like, 'cause I used to have visions about Cash dying on me. And I thought it would be because he'd get hit by a car because he was so fast. I didn't know why I was having these visions. But I'm like, but I knew when Cash was born, I didn't have him that long. It was something they say mothers have that intuition and stuff. And I wholeheartedly can attest to that. I knew when I laid my eyes on my baby, like he wasn't going to be here this long. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just knew it was going to happen. And that's why I treated him the way I did. I adored him. Like he couldn't do no wrong in my eyes. That was my golden child, like not saying my other kids weren't. I really don't want them to feel that way, but they know too now that I've been grieving this way and grieving for 2 years now. They realized that, he played a big part of getting me back to who I am. And that'll forever hurt because he's not here to celebrate that with me. But the night before that hug, that Friday, that Thursday night, we was playing and we was laughing so loud. And I thought my husband was gonna come in there and be like, "What are y'all laughing at? Like, what is going on in here?" Because we was just laughing uncontrollably. We was playing a game, and it was a game that he would play where he'd say, close your eyes, and he'd hit your cheeks. And I had to teach him not to hit my cheeks so hard because when he first had done it, he really hurt me, and I did it to him, and I hurt him, and he was like, and I'm like, yeah, that hurt, didn't it? And he stopped playing. He stopped playing like that. So that night we finally played the game one last time, and I took him in my arms because I felt gratitude. I felt joyous. It was like I can't really explain it. Like I knew this was going to be one of the last serious conversations I had with my son. And I said, I grabbed him in my arms, and all of a sudden I'm happy crying. I'm crying tears. Like I'm crying. And he's looking at me. He's like, "What's wrong, mommy?" I said, "Thank you, baby. You saved mommy's life. I love you so much." Because, I had just fixed up my room. We had just got a new bedroom set. We done got the TV on the wall. Like we had just moved into this house, so it was coming together. And I'm like, this is everything I've ever dreamed of. I was in my addiction. Like now I'm on the right road. I got a job I've been on for 2 years at the time. I'd never been on a job no longer than 2 years. I've been there about to be 5 years now. But like it was just, I didn't think I would have a husband. I didn't think I would be engaged because I was engaged when he had passed. I just thought it was like I was just so grateful for all the things that I never thought I would have, especially while in addiction. I was grateful that I had got that, and I knew it was because of Cash. I never had my own house, and here I am in a house with my own backyard and things of that nature, like a car that I had paid off. I never done that. He was like, he helped elevate me. And he gave me a new lease on life, you know. So that night he looked at me like, yeah, she finally gets it. And that's what it's not, when I think about that memory of me holding him like that and telling him thank you for saving my life. When he looked up at me, it was like she gets it. And when he died the next week, I thought about that and I was like, it was almost like he was telling me I can leave her now. You know, yeah. Yeah, it's the hard one to swallow for real. That's why I fight so hard for him, because it was like when I had that conversation with him, the way he looked at me just gave me a clarity, like, because he died the next day, or the next week. So I'm thinking, man, he just looked up at me like I can leave her now, because I didn't know it was fentanyl. I didn't know it was fentanyl when he first passed. It took 2 weeks to get the test results. So I thought he died naturally in his sleep. And I'm like, wow, he got me to the house, the job, the car, the husband, or the fiance, and then he just left. That's how it played out before I got the toxicology report that it was fentanyl. So in my head, I'm like, he can leave. You know, it just looked like he could leave me now. So that following Tuesday, that night, me and my husband went to H&R Block, right? So he's doing his little information and I'm sitting back and I'm looking at all my photos on my phone. I'm looking at all my photos and I'm like, I can delete this one. I got so many pictures of his cash. I can delete this one. This one don't matter. This one's messed up. Within hours, I had to go back into my Google account and retrieve all of it, because by 2:08 that night, or 2:03, I get a call from his daddy, and his daddy's screaming. And he's like, I don't know. He's not waking up. I think he's gone. I said, who? He's like, Cash won't wake up. And I said, oh my God, it's happening. Because like I told you, I had dreams and images about him being gone. And I thought, I'm like, dang, what do I not want my baby? When those thoughts would come to me, I'm like, man, do I not want him? Like, why am I having these visions like that? And so when I got the call, my first response when he said it was Cash and the cash was gone, I said, oh my God, it's happening. It was like what I had heard was coming true. And so we rushed over there. Me and my husband. I remember I put on pants. I ain't even put on no undergarments. I just put on the nurse pants that I had. Grabbed the nurse shoes. It was a little warm outside. I ain't grabbed no coat. I ain't grabbed no bra. I ain't grabbed. I just, in my car. It's a 08, so usually I let it idle. I didn't let it idle. I I got in and I don't even think my husband's door was closed, and I zoomed because his daddy lived like 5 minutes away. I got there in like 2. So, because I'm about to head toward the hospital. Like, I'm going this way at first, but his daddy lives that way. So I'm going this way, and I'm no sooner than I call him back. I'm like, where y'all at? Where y'all at? He's like, I'm at the house. So I turned back around. I mean, I literally got there in like 2.5, 3 minutes, because it's in the car. It's like 5-6 minutes to get there, but I got there so quick. But we pull up to the first, because at this time, they got the streets blocked off. They got before his house like 6 blocks up and 6 blocks down. Like, nobody can come in or out. And I pull up to the police car and I'm like, that's my baby. That's my baby. I got to get through. I'm bawling, I got to get through. I got to get through. He's like, go, go, go. So I go in and I hear him on the walkie as I'm driving and stuff, but the windows, because I wrote it down. He's like, the mom's coming. The mom's coming. So we go through the other barricade with the police officers, and I see the ambulance. Now, where my baby's father's lived at, his driveway was slanted, so he had to run it. It was a slanted hill type of driveway. So I jumped out the car. I ran up there. I didn't see no EMTs, but I see him and several other people, him and his son and another other person. They're standing out there. I'm like, where's the baby? Where's my baby? They're like, he's in the ambulance. So I run back down the hill. And man, I'm pulling up my pants. I've got to keep my pants up because there's no belt. There's no nothing. Like, I don't know why I picked one of the baggiest pants I had, but I'm running. I'm holding my pants up, and then I get to the door and I'm beating. I'm like, open up, I'm the mama. Open up. They're like, they didn't even say nothing. They didn't say nothing. They just gone ahead and pulled off on me. And I'm like, oh my God, they pulling off with me with my baby. So I'm telling my husband, go, we gotta go. So he's driving. And he's driving too slow for me. I'm like, go. But and I guess because it was 2:00 in the morning, nobody was on the roads at all but the police. So the police, we running lights. We got our emergency zone and we running lights, and the police is letting us run lights. I don't know if they knew it was us coming or what, they related. I didn't know what, but I knew I had to get to Kozarks Children's Hospital. Now, while we riding there, it's probably about a 10-minute ride. We probably got there in 7. But I called my sister. Carmela, and I said, Carmela, he's gone. And she's like, who? And I said, Cash, he's gone. And all I heard is her let out this scream. She's like, no. I'm like, yes, he's gone. And I'm beside myself. I'm hitting the dash. I thought the airbag was about to come out on me because I hit that thing so hard. I dented it. Like I was just beside myself. So I hung up with her, not knowing what she had done. Like when I got off the phone with her, she had called my whole family. And by the time he was declared dead, everybody was up there. But so I get to the hospital, I go to the doors, I'm running to the emergency doors, I'm beating on the doors. I'm like, my baby's in there. And they like, are you the mom of the 3-year-old that just came in? I'm like, yeah, that's my baby. They're like, go in this room, the chaplain will be in to talk to you soon. I said, the chaplain? They're like, no, they're working on him right now. Just go in this room and the chaplain will be in to talk to you. So by this time, my mama had made it up there. My mom, I don't know how quick. It just seems like everything happened so quick. My mama lived about 20 minutes away from that hospital. She ends up coming in that room, and my husband. And I dropped to my knees. I said, Lord, don't take him yet. I'm not ready. Don't take my baby. And so after I prayed that prayer, 2 chaplains, the first chaplain comes in. He's like, Miss Green, we working on, your baby. And we're trying all the life-saving measures that we can. But as soon as we get him responsive, as soon as we get a pulse, we're going to get you next to your baby. And I said, I'm thinking, okay, they're working on him. It's a chance. And like I said, after the first chaplain came in, I prayed. I dropped to my knees. And something just came over me and was like, he's gone. This ain't going to work. He's gone. So I sat in the chair and I'm looking. I'm numb because I'm like, is this really happening? And the 2 chaplains come in the second time and they're like, we tried every life-saving measure on your baby. We've exhausted all our resources. Would you like to be in there when we call it? And I said, of course, it's my baby. I'm going to be there every step of the way, of course. Some parents can't handle that. I wanted to see my child. I wanted to see my baby. And so they open up the door to the room. I see a nurse on top of him. I'm hopeful. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's still working on him. In my head, I'm thinking that, but they were working on him until I got in there. Sooner than I walked in, the nurse, the guy nurse, he taps the nurse that's on top of my baby. I mean, she's pumping. She's like, come on, baby. She's talking to my baby. And the doctor, he tapped her and he said, you can stop now. And when he said that, they all looked up at the monitor. And I'm like, what are they looking at? And I realized they was looking at the time of death. And so they got off of him. And they told me, they was like, we gonna let you spend time with your baby, but try not to hold him because we don't know how he died. So I really couldn't hold him. I couldn't pick him up. But I got the kiss on him. I held him in my arm a little bit, like his head. And I kissed on his body. I kissed on his toes. Kissed on his stomach, his leg, his knees. I kissed every part of him, his heart. His eyes wouldn't close. And I'm like, it was sort of normal to see him like that because he slept with his eyes half open. So I'm like, it's sort of normal. But when I went to close them and they didn't respond and they just stayed open, that's when I knew this is death. Like he's gone. And I wish I would have stayed in there longer with him. But I kissed on him for about 10 minutes and talked to him. And then I left him in there. And I went to the waiting room where my family was. And my sister, she had just had it confirmed that he had passed away through my baby's father. And she was freaking out. My sister Carmel, she was freaking out. She was, no, not my baby, not my nephew, and things of that nature. And then my brother, my dad, they went to go get my daughter. She lived in Indiana. So they went to get her. She came in. She's like, what's going on? Because they didn't tell her. They was just like, we need to get you to the hospital real quick. And they didn't tell her on the way. And so she came. She's like, Mom, what's wrong? Why are we here? And I'm like, yeah, she's gone. She let out this scream that I'll never forget. And it was like, at first I was being strong until my daddy came. And then when I seen my daddy, it was like, because I'm a daddy's girl. My daddy raised us. So my daddy came and he's like, I'm so sorry. And all this type of things. And he's hugging me. And then my legs went out from underneath me. I remember falling and everybody rushed to pick me up. Because I collapsed almost. I couldn't walk. Like, I'm like, is this really happening? You know, like my baby, he's only 3. And I did not know how he had died. I didn't even care. I just was like, he's gone. You know, like, how did this happen? But I'm trying to process it. And we go back to the waiting room and everybody's like, man, by now I got my nieces there. My sister, her husband's there. My other sister, all my siblings are there. My mom, my dad. I think an auntie came. It was just all my support, like all my immediate family, everybody that has been here for me since then and before then, they were there. And I remember sitting next to my daddy and he told me and stuff. And I'm like, I can't believe it's happening because they had to do x-rays on him. And that's why I couldn't hold him before they did the x-rays. So I'm sitting there and I remember, I'll never forget this. My daddy's telling me, you know, God brings people in your life for a reason, a season, and a purpose, and Cass served his purpose. And after he said that, I got to thinking about it and it resonated. And I don't know what just came up. Grief, like grief and all the other feelings that come along with it. I just started hitting the couch. I'm like, no, my baby's gone. Like, I never forget. I can vividly recall every moment from the funeral, from the time he passed away to, it's like it's etched in my brain. It ain't went nowhere. It's all I think about. Like, I can recall it like the back of my hand. Like, this is traumatizing. But, you know, finding out it was fentanyl, it's like, where was my warning at? You know, I didn't know about fentanyl until Cash died. I didn't know what fentanyl was nor ever heard of it. So,
wow. Now, we're going to go into this next video. After this next video, I want you to let us know what you was told that happened at Dad's house. Because this happened at Dad's house, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
So we want to know, you know, exactly what you was told, because you wasn't there. So we want to know what you was told that happened at Dad's house. After you tell us that, we're going to go into Charlotte, because, you know, she is our counselor lady. And I know Charlotte got a lot to say. I know she got some things to say. But we definitely want to know what happened at Dad's house from what you know. So let's get into the second clip.
Every 2 weeks after the grass gets cut, Ashley Green puts back a tiny memorial in front of her Louisville home.
This is my memorial for him.
3 years ago, Green says she was suffering from an addiction to cocaine and had lost custody of her children and her home. She says she found out she was pregnant and entered a treatment facility 3 days later.
I was ecstatic. I was like, this is my second chance at life, period, you know. He was my redemption. My baby was my redemption.
he gave me a second chance at life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my baby. I'd probably be dead.
Green stayed in recovery and gave birth to Cassius Ballanger, nicknamed Cash.
Yes, hey, mama.
He loved cookies, the color blue, and Paw Patrol. But 4 months ago, Green says Cash was at his father's house when she got a call in the middle of the night that Cash wasn't breathing.
I dropped to my knees. I started begging God, please don't take my baby away.
Green says she assumed her son died in his sleep until she heard the state's child protection branch wanted to speak with her about what was in her son's system. Cash's death certificate lists the cause of death as acute fentanyl intoxication.
I couldn't put two and two together. I'm like, this is not making sense. That's how my son's life ended, and he was brought here to save me from that. It just didn't make sense.
Green says she doesn't know how fentanyl got in her son's system or where it came from. Cash's father says other people were living in his home at the time, and he didn't know there were any substances containing fentanyl in the home. LMPD told us it conducted a death investigation, and no foul play is suspected. Green says her goal is to change state law in her son's honor.
It sounds like there's not going to be no justice. So I can't let that just go. I can't settle for that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not going to take no. You know, if I can get with the right people and we can fix some type of law to where people are held accountable for toddlers die, there's no reason why toddlers should have fentanyl in their system.
Sometimes Green sits here in Cash's room, where some of his clothes still have their tags on them. She feels like Cash fought for her.
All right. Now, what was you told by Cash's father? Because we can go by the news broadcast and clips all day long, but what was that conversation like between you and him?
So he let me know that as far as what?
As far as what you can let us know.
Yeah. So he let me know that he took in a lady with her 2 kids that were homeless and just trying to do a good deed. He allowed them to stay upstairs in the room that Cash was supposed to have at the house. It was being renovated. So he allowed them to stay upstairs in what was supposed to be Cash's room, but was now their room. And I talked to him several times recently too, and come to find out it was her first night there. From my understanding, I've heard conflicting stories. Maybe she was there a day or 2 or anything, but he said, no, that was her first night there. He had went upstairs after being called in from being outside, and because it was getting dark, and he was out there with the yard man. The yard man was working in the garden, and Cash loved flowers and gardening and fishing and things, but he was out there in the garden, and his dad seen it was getting late, so he called Cash in. Cash was upset about it, so he stomped past him and ran upstairs. And the brother and the girlfriend that was also in the house, my baby daddy's son and the son's girlfriend, the girlfriend had fixed some food and took it up to Cash. That was the last she seen him alive, and the boyfriend had seen him alive, and the last his dad seen him alive. Everybody else, they were downstairs. The only people that was upstairs was Cash, her 2 kids, and the lady. So the lady ends up bringing him downstairs, placing him in bed with his dad, and he was unresponsive. So and the speculation is because nobody heard Cash running downstairs, nobody heard him coming downstairs or getting in bed with his dad, and his dad had fallen asleep, should I say. And he didn't notice when Cash got in bed with him. He just woke up out of his bed, out of his sleep, and Cash was already in bed and unresponsive. So we're speculating that while he was upstairs with her, he came in contact with something she was using, and she panicked. She freaked out, didn't know what to do, or probably didn't even want to do anything because she was an addict, which, not giving her a pass because I have forgiven her. I don't want that in my heart. I don't want to be angry at her. I don't want to hold that hatred in my heart. It sucks that this lady, because, and we're presuming it's her because nobody in the house has a history of fentanyl. She's had a history with fentanyl in drug court for fentanyl, overdosed 2 weeks after Cash passed away from fentanyl, and they Narcaned her. Um, she was in drug court for fentanyl, right? She was in drug court, had medical records with fentanyl. It's like everything. And I've talked to her dad. I did reach out to her father before we went on the street, Steve Wilkos show, to see if she would want to come, but he said he couldn't get in contact with her. Really, she just pops up whenever. But it's well known in the city that she does fentanyl. So it's like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who my baby's fentanyl he died from. So his dad basically said that, he woke up and his baby was unresponsive. And then when he was freaking out, like, oh my God, what's going on? Just screaming that Cash is not responding. The lady runs from downstairs or from upstairs and runs downstairs and starts giving him CPR without even asking what's going on. Like, it's like she knew. So, it just sucks that she did that to my baby, allegedly, but it seems that way, that she really just brought his dead body downstairs and placed him in bed and waited for his dad to find him that way.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Charlotte, we're gonna bring you up right now. Hey. So, what do you have to say behind that whole situation as far as this other young lady on fentanyl and she's not locked up right now?
Let me just start from the very beginning, because your story is truly, truly amazing. And when you say that God has been with you every step of the way, I appreciate the way that you talked about your addiction. I appreciate the way that you really, really gave a good, clear understanding so that people understand the way that an addiction will take hold of your life. Even from the way that you explained, you made up in your mind and God was all over and through that. And you decided that, this was it. This was how you were going to do it. And even holding on to you, and even through your tests, going through drug court and even having those negatives. And then instead of quitting, you kept going, you kept pushing through, you kept doing what you wanted to do for your children. Again, I'm amazed. Your story is one to be told over and over and over again. And it is about your son, definitely about your son. But ma'am, you truly, truly, truly are a gift as well. God gave you a blessing. He gave you a blessing. And, there's life is very, very precious, but we are all here to do a job. We're all here for a purpose and a reason. And your son was your purpose and your reason, and he gave you a reason. He gave you a purpose to do what you needed to do in order for you and your other children. So that beyond it,
Yes.
beyond that. So as far as the drugs are concerned, that and fentanyl is new to us. Let's put it like that. It's new to our culture. It's new to us. And it, from my understanding, fentanyl, it could be just a drop of something. It could have been that it touched something else and he ingested it in his system. It doesn't necessarily mean that, there was drugs just laying around. It could have been that, just the seeping of it or the vape of it could have gotten on a toy. He touched the toy and put it in his mouth or whatever the may be. There's just so many explanations unknown explanations, especially when it comes to now, because it's such a brand new drug and it's synthetic, it's man-made. So there's no, there's no study. And then the chemicals, everybody uses different chemicals to put it together. There's some base chemicals, but people are just experimenting, because it's cheaply made. And so people are out here just experimenting on how to market, I guess, their product or whatever the case may be. And it's dangerous, it's lethal. and it doesn't take much, and especially when it comes to a baby, they say
Yeah.
even for adults, like
Right.
there's you're taking a chance. It's like playing Russian roulette every time you try
Yes.
with fentanyl. And I can only say that I pray and hope that your baby, it seems as though he went to sleep, and so hopefully his little body did not suffer. And I just want you to know that God is with you. He has not given up on you. He is still here. And
Mhm.
again, even through the depression of it, even through the grief of it, on the other side of it, there's going to be a story to tell. There's going to be a book to be written. You haven't finished your story yet. It's just beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
girl, yeah, that's why we got her over here, girl. We love Miss Charlotte over here, girl. All right, all right. But one of the things that you mentioned was the Steve Wilkos show. Okay.
Yeah.
You was a guest on there. I watched the full clip of you, your daughter, and because it was your daughter, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, you, your daughter, and also Cash's father. Okay.
Yes.
Um, and for those that's watching the show right now, you can actually go on YouTube and you can see the Steve Wilkos show, and you'll be able to see the father and everything that happened. And one thing that everyone knows, there's two things about Steve Wilkos that we all know if you ever been a big fan of the show. One of them is that he was the security for Jerry Springer. We all know
Yes.
that. Yeah. And the other thing is that he does lie detector tests. Okay. So on that specific episode, and I wish I could play the whole thing, but I can't. I just was able to play that little clip. Hopefully, they
Yeah.
won't tag me for that. But on that video, Ashley, well, on that clip, they gave your Cash's father a lie detector test
Yes.
because they wanted to know on the Steve Wilkos show. One, did he know fentanyl was in the house? They
Yes.
wanted to know that. And I think they asked him, did he have anything to do with it as well? One thing that I can say about Ashley, from talking to Ashley and also on that show, that Ashley believed everything that he had said to her. Like there was no reason for her to think that he was lying, that he was portraying one way and not the other. Like she had her faith in him. She believed him. Now,
Yeah.
on that episode, they asked him, did he know that fentanyl was in there? He said no, but the test came back that he wasn't being honest about that. Um, he also mentioned that he had cocaine in there, but he had it on top. By the time he said on top, Steve was like, "Get out, we done." Like he didn't even care. He just felt like it shouldn't have been in the house at all, you know.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
but in reality, he had it on top of I think the
Yeah.
refrigerator or cabinet,
The cabinet. Hmm.
the cabinet. So there was no way that he felt that Cash could have gotten to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, as of today, Ashley, as of today, how do you feel about everything that you heard and the results and everything? How do you feel today when it comes to Cash's father?
Okay. So a part of my story I did not mention was which I usually do. So I was just so caught up in telling the story. But while in my addiction, while I was walking, that's where his dad came into play. He was my drug dealer, he was my supplier. So, but
Mm,
we didn't have a relationship. We just had more of a cordial, hey, but we caught feelings for each other. We did do that. He was going through a divorce and things of that nature, but he confided in me and I confided in him. And things of that nature. But we were really close. Like we're not real close, but close enough. You know, he knew about my kids I was fighting for, things of that nature, and I knew about what he was going through. So then I got pregnant by him. But before I got pregnant by him, he was always trying to encourage me to get clean. He was like, "You better than this. You know, you don't belong out here. You different. You different." He kept saying that to me. And so he would say, "You know, you're gonna have my son, and that's gonna get you clean." I'm like, all right, whatever. I brushed it off. But then I had his son, and it got me clean. So we always stayed close as far as pertaining to Cash. Like I didn't want for nothing. Um, Cash didn't want for nothing. He was a good guy. Um, I didn't see no reason to not let his dad, even though he dealt cocaine, I didn't feel a reason to not let his dad be a dad. Especially with him being older in age. He was like 55, 53 or something like that, you know. And he had custody of his two grandkids that he had all the time. So, and they was like 8, 9, something of that nature, but they were old enough. And I'm thinking, you know, he's keeping them safe, and then he'll have his baby grandbabies and things of that nature. So I'm like, where there, I see no danger in letting my son have his dad around. And I told him though, don't have that crap around my baby. You know, keep your lifestyle away from my back. You know how I was coming about him. He was my saving grace. So I fought hard for him with his dad to show him the importance of not having that stuff around my baby. You know, if I even came across or had the slightest idea that he had junkies around my baby, he would have had his visitations cut off. It would have been that simple. You know, I wasn't going for that, but it never happened that I was aware of. And people might look at me, you know, they might wonder why I give him grace, and I forgive him too. I do forgive him. You know, he's the one that woke up with the baby passed away in the bed with him. That's hard enough. I cannot, me myself being a Christian and a woman of faith, and um just having the experience that I've experienced with giving people with God giving me grace. You know, I have to give him grace. I just feel like, you know, God can forgive me, I can forgive them. You know, I feel that he's partially to blame. Of course, he's definitely part, but he already claims that. Even on the show, you'll hear him say that,
Yeah,
you know, I do feel
sure
responsible
did.
for my baby passing away. And that's the message. There's so many things you could take from my story, but I never was involved with a drug dealer before. Cash's dad was my first one, and this is what happened. And that's like a part of my message that I want to get out to our community. You know, we got to be vigilant when it comes to dealing with these drug dealers around our babies. You know, at least have Narcan in the house, because if Narcan was in that house, at least somebody would have knew how to use it. And, you know, they would have thought, hey, you know, he's overdosing right now. We need to Narcan him, but nobody knew. Nobody was aware. And I'm when he passed away and I found out it was fentanyl, I got pissed off, because I'm like, what is fentanyl? Then I did my research, and then I got in groups, and then I went to rallies, and then I went to advocacy like events. Then I got involved with harm reduction, and I started learning more and more facts about fentanyl. And I'm like, why didn't I have this warning? If I would have knew about fentanyl before Cash had passed away, I would have been way more vigilant with his dad. I would have been way more cautious. I would have had Narcan in my baby's diaper bag. You know, like I honestly would have, you know, and that's what
Mhm.
I do on his anniversary every April 19th for 2 years now. I get with harm reduction. There's a generous lady from harm reduction that reached out to me and wanted me to share my story, and, you know, come to her events with harm reduction. So we get together on April the 19th, and I get donations from my supporters on Facebook. And and if I, you know, I use my own money too and things of that nature, but we get diaper bags. We buy everything that the diaper bag needs, like bottles, onesies, pacifiers. But in that, and all in all, in the diaper bags, we put Narcan and fentanyl test strips. And any parent can get it, any expecting mother can get it. But I really want to target the mothers with substance use disorders, you know, the ones that have history of using and things of that nature, because I don't think people are taking it serious. And Cash really woke me up to this epidemic that I didn't even know was happening until he died. And especially with the babies, when Cash passed away, it was like 500 and something babies that had died from fentanyl. And at the time, when I look back on it, I had heard of one article where it stood out, where a baby had died from fentanyl. And even when they said fentanyl, I'm like, what the heck is fentanyl? I didn't know. I didn't know, like you said, it was a synthetic drug that's man-made that is put in all sorts of that's being laced in everything. It's even been laced on wheat and weed and stuff. And I
Mhm.
just wasn't educated on that. So Cash really brought me my purpose, and I feel like he's not only gave me a second chance, but in his death, he's gave me my purpose because I asked God before he had passed away, like right after I got engaged. I'm like, okay, God, you done got me engaged. You done got me a house. I done got the car. I got the job. What do you want me to do now with my life? What's my purpose? And within 20 days, my baby died. He gave me my purpose. You know, when you ask, you will receive. So,
Yeah.
and you got to be ready for that answer. And I was ready. I was front and center. I was front line. I've been on the front line of this fentanyl fight since my baby died. You know, some people don't agree with my story because I let his daddy, who dealt with the drugs and things of that nature, be involved. But I know with my whole heart that Steve Wilkos showed, it didn't go the way that we intended it to. Even with the questions that he answered, he has heart problems. He's on heart medicines and things of that nature. And you know, a lie detector test is strictly about, you know, your vitals. And I'm thinking in my head, why would y'all have somebody with all these conditions? Or, you know, he agreed to it. He agreed to it. And they told me backstage that the results were 50-50. He could have been telling the truth, and it just showed up that he was not being, you know, truthful. So I do forgive him, and you know, he's always welcomed at my home when we celebrate Cash's birthday and things of that nature. I'll never deny him because he's just as hurt as I am. He adored Cash. Like even his other kids that came forth and was like, because the youngest was 19 at the time when Cash passed away, 1920, and the one that was in the house with him. And they all was like, he's different with Cash. He treated Cash way different than he treated us. Like he, you know, like for real, he was that man. He took him to monster truck events. He took him out of town with him to go to places, and they went to like little seminar, not seminars, but like the Disney on Ice, I think. They went there. Like he did a lot with Cash and that he had never done with any of his other kids. He was really involved with Cash. And so it's just unfortunate though that his lifestyle sort of contributed to baby Cash passing away. And that's why I just want to get his story out there to reach our community, especially the drug dealers, the ones with the little babies around, the one with the little peoples around. Like
Yeah.
y'all got to put y'all crap up, and y'all got to be cautious and alert about who y'all have around y'all babies. Because when I looked at the lady, when I went to her profile, she didn't look like an addict. But then her and her history from her father and her and her history from other people, it's like, wow. But I didn't look like an addict when I first started using. So people say you can tell, not all the time. It's not necessarily. You can't tell when somebody's using. They can go in your bathroom and do a line, and your baby come behind them to go use the bathroom, and boom, they fall out, and you like, what the heck's wrong with my baby? Well, they just came in contact with fentanyl, and you don't even know it because the person that you let in your house that just used the bathroom don't even look like an addict. So you wouldn't even know to use Narcan. You know, it's just so many scenarios out there, and it's serious. And I didn't know how serious it was until Cash died. It didn't affect me until it affected me. So, yeah,
Yeah, I remember I showed a video. I don't know if you remember this, Charlotte, but I showed that video of that police officer
yeah,
that had came. You saw that video? The
yes,
police officer came in contact from
hmm
I don't know if she was arresting the person or not, but thank God a second officer was there.
yeah,
And it was something she had touched.
yeah. It
And
got in
when
their
she
pores.
touched it, yeah, it got in her pores and she knew it too. And she like literally fell to the ground and she was able to tell the other officer where the what is it called? The
Narcan, the Narcan.
Narcan, where it was
Mm-hmm.
at inside of her truck. And he went and
Hmm.
got it. And that was the only thing that saved that lady's life. Cause baby, she was on her way out of here. She
Yeah.
was on her way
And,
out of here.
and another thing too about this fentanyl epidemic is that a lot of people don't realize they have conjured up four different types of fentanyl. And there's a fentanyl out here called car fentanyl that's irreversible.
Mhm.
Narcan will not reverse it. So that
Yeah,
one
I
is a
will be
complete.
listening out there.
Yeah, that one is a complete death sentence, and nobody knows. Like it's tasteless. You can't smell it. None of that. And
Right.
it's been put in a lot of stuff out here. And there's so many stories. I've been in so many advocate groups about fentanyl and this epidemic, and there are so many stories. Like I just came across this one guy. His son was at the playground, 2 years old, at the playground, and touched something in OD, or it's not even called OD, y'all. It's called poisoning because it's a poison. Fentanyl is just a poison. It's not. It's not overdose because the overdose is the overdosing of something. Fentanyl is a poison. So basically, my baby
Because
was
it
poisoned.
doesn't have to be much. It could be a
It
droplet
could
of
be a
it.
drop. A grain of pepper is the size of that is, and the size of fentanyl. Just compare the two. Is the size that's all the amount that it takes to kill you. Like
Yes.
take the end of like a pencil, and you know how you sharpen a pencil. Pick up a little scoop. That amount could kill 10 people.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
yeah, I've
You
been
also have
educating
to be
myself.
careful with these kids and vaping because it's been put in those vapes that they buy at these convenience stores,
Absolutely,
just all this stuff you
absolutely.
don't know. I tell the kids all the time, you don't even know what's in that stuff half of the time. And so
Exactly.
even because it's used to cut stuff, fentanyl is
Yes,
used to cut. And
it's
so
because it's more addicting. It's 100 times more addicting than heroin, and that's why the dealers are using it. And they're basically dealing death. Like, and they don't care. They just want your money for it. I know there's people out there that do fentanyl, which I have learned through harm reduction that you can do fentanyl, but it's just a matter of time when you get the wrong batch. So
well, that was Michael Jackson.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Prince,
yeah,
Prince
Michael
died from
Jackson.
fentanyl. Prince died from
Yeah,
fentanyl.
it's been out
Michael
there.
K. Smith. Michael K. Smith, he
It's
died from
used.
The Wire. He died from
It's
fentanyl.
used
Mm.
in the hospitals a lot, because
That's two
it's
different
used.
fentanyls, though. That's
Oh,
two different
oh,
fentanyls.
okay.
Yes, absolutely. The one in the hospital is absolutely legal, and like it's strictly made for the hospital settings. The fentanyl on the streets is coming from China, from the precursors that China create, and they send it to the cartels in Mexico. And Mexico get them shipped over here. See, that's why them boats are getting blown up by Trump and stuff, because they're traveling that fentanyl through trying to get it over here. What people don't realize, though, is what I've learned is that this is a whole a terroristic attack on America. They know that we have the drug problem. You go to China, you won't see drugs. You won't see an epidemic going on over there because they don't tolerate it over there. Over here, however, it's easy to purchase. It's easier to get, and it's very addicting over here. And there's really not that many laws that's prohibiting it. And so it's a terroristic attack on us to get our population down, and then they're going to attack us. So, and we're doing the work for them by using and selling. So, they say over, I think it's 171,000 people died from it last year, if I'm not mistaken, from
Oh,
fentanyl and
that's what he
drug
called
related.
it, a weapon of mass destruction. He signed the bill
Yes.
on yesterday, a weapon
Yes,
of
he
mass
did.
destruction.
It is. It
Sad.
is.
That's
It
so
is.
sad.
I have a
Yeah.
question
And
though.
what's up?
So, you mentioned early that you forgive your son's father, and just the whole situation. But I'm asking, will you show grace? Where's your grace for yourself?
It's hard. It's hard. I try to give it to myself, but I feel like I could have done better for my baby, even though it wasn't my fault. It's just I don't know.
Well, the same way that you can give someone else grace, you have to work on trying to give it to yourself as well each and every day. Just remember to wake up and, give yourself that same grace each and every day that you're giving. And, know that it's a purpose and a reason. And so I heard you say it, and that's my grace. And I teach my kids that all the time, that we have to try extra hard, because we are our own worst enemies. We
Yeah.
can be the ones to beat ourselves up. We are the
Yeah.
Mhm.
ones,
Yeah.
every little
I
thing
do.
we expect everybody else around us, we can forgive them for every little thing, for the things, but ourselves, we find it so extra hard, and we hold this weight on us that is oftentimes unbearable. But I want you to
Yeah.
try to start taking it off, start taking that weight
I
off of
don't
you,
think I
start.
will. People say all the time, I'm praying for your peace, for you to find peace. But I've come to
um,
realize 2 years later, it's a peace that I'll never find. I'll never be at peace knowing my baby died. You
So
know,
it might not be that same peace, but God will give you peace. It's going to look different. It might not be that
yeah.
same how because every day is a different day. So we keep looking, trying to find peace, or we keep trying to find
But
every day. Keep trying to find it like that
it's
same high,
and it's
that same
crazy
you chase it.
because yeah, it's crazy too that you say every day's a different day because some days I do feel at peace. I do. I'm like, I'm not worried about him. I'm not thinking about him as hard to where it hurts and things. And then it comes right back. It's like a repeated cycle I can't get out of. I try. I try hard to get out of this cycle. Like, Ashley, you're doing good. You're keeping his name alive. You post him. I haven't posted all December for real. I barely have, if you come go on my page, like I barely have posted this year strictly or this month because the holidays are extremely hard too. But it's like I get that peace and then it'll leave me. Then I have to search for it again, and then it'll leave me again. It's been like this for almost 3 years now. April will make 3 years my baby been gone, and it still feels like yesterday. It feels like last week was the funeral. It's like I told you, I can recall every single detail. I talked to people that lost their kid last year, and they don't remember details. They like it's blocked out. But me, if for some, it's like I don't know. It's my identity now. It really is, and I try for it not to be, but it's not going nowhere.
Well, it's your
I
identity to shape you into the woman that you're becoming. It has nothing to do with who it is that you or what it is that you've been through. It's just what's
yeah
to come, what's yet to come, what God is blessing you, what He's getting you ready for. And so you need to, even in those fleeting moments, even when you find that peace, just remember to live in it. That's number
yeah
one. To embrace it when you do have those good moments, because there's no time limit on grief. Grief affects people differently.
yeah
There's no one can say, oh, at this point in time you should be over or whatever. Grief has
God,
no
yeah
no date or
yeah
time to say, hey,
Mhm.
this is your cutoff date and you should feel like your old self again. Well, no, because it's creating in you a new. You
yeah
will be a new person. You will be a new thing coming out of it. And so just know that it's coming. Just
yeah
grab hold of that and know that it's coming and keep fighting through.
Keep
yeah
fighting through, girl. Keep fighting through. So we
absolutely.
are about to go into our commercial break. We at the end of the show, y'all. We are at the end of the show. I know y'all see that banner up. Baby Cash Memorial Tribute coming up next. Yes. So let's go ahead, get into our commercial break. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Because when I tell you, as soon as this commercial break is over, we going straight into the tribute video. Okay. So let's go ahead. Again, thank you so much, girl. You is doing great tonight. You is doing an amazing job. I know this is hard. I tell everybody this is not easy at all. Ashley, she's been on other platforms before. She's been on the news before. But again, it's not easy when you coming on to tell your loved one's story. It's not easy. So here go this quick commercial break, and we going straight into the tribute video. Here we go.
Remembering a life, honoring a legacy. When words fall short, let Miss Peachy help you tell the story. Miss Peachy will create a custom heartfelt memorial tribute video that celebrate your loved one's life in a way that truly reflects their spirit and the love you shared. Remembering a life, honoring a legacy. When words fall short, let Miss Peachy help you tell the story. Miss Peachy will create a custom heartfelt memorial tribute video that celebrate your loved one's life in a way that truly reflects their spirit and the love you shared. With thoughtful care, Miss Peachy will craft each video from the heart, preserving precious memories in a lasting tribute. Tailored packages to suit your needs. Fast 24 to 48-hour delivery. Genuine, compassionate service. Let Miss Peachy help honor your loved one legacy with a keepsake that will be cherished forever. Contact Ms. Peachy by email or by phone for a tribute video made from the heart.
All right, y'all. We are back. We are back. We are back. Usually when it's time for us to play the tribute video, we looking for somebody. We're looking for somebody. And in this story, we still looking for her. Allegedly, if she, you know, we want you. Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. You know, even if guys see it a different way, at least be able to say, here I am. Y'all do whatever it is that y'all got to do. Do whatever research y'all got to do. Do whatever it is that y'all got to do. Here you go. Here you go. I'm right here. Okay? So this video is for the family, for the friends. This video is going to hurt. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. It's going to hurt a little bit. But again, this is for the family, the friends, pillow talkers, folks that know something. If you know something, say something. So let me go ahead, take this banner down that we got up right now. I'm going to come down and rest in peace, baby Cash. Have fun up there in baby heaven. Here we go.
We had our memories. We had our time together. It's hard that I can't see you now. See you face to face. But I know you in the sky looking down. But it's still hard to tell. That you're not here physically. Yeah, it gets emotional sometimes. Yeah, it gets hard because you're not here. And you're gone away. Up in the sky somewhere. I hope we meet again. I hope I see my love again. Yeah, it gets so difficult to know you're not here. And oftentimes I cry to sleep in tears. But I hope I'll be up there one day. One day. To see your face again. I know you're in a better place. I know you're at peace up there.
Oh, look at that. You want me to blow it up? Okay, I'll blow it up. I'll blow it up, baby. What's up? What's up, bud?
Yeah, it gets emotional sometimes. Yeah, it gets hard because you're not here. And you're gone away. Up in the sky somewhere. I hope we meet again. I hope I see my love again. Yeah, it gets so difficult to know you're not here. And oftentimes I cry to sleep in tears. But I hope I'll be up there one day. One day. To see your face again. I know you up there. Up there. I miss you down here. I wish I had one more chance to see your face and hold you and never let you.
All right. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. That was thank you. You on mute. You gotta unmute yourself. I can't unmute you. There you go. There you go. Now we can see you and hear you. So, it went back
I
on
see where he
mute.
gets it from.
Huh?
I see where he gets that smile from.
Yes. He has such a cute smile. You back on mute again. You gotta unmute yourself. Let me see. No, it's on mute. It's on mute. There we go. And I keep muting it. When she unmuted, I muted back. Okay, there we go. There we go.
You got it? Okay.
Look, I got my hands like this. But yes, he definitely get his smile from you.
Yeah.
When I tell you this story is going to be one of the most memorable stories for me. And the reason why I say that because a lot of the shows that we do is it's about gun violence. Majority of them. Gun violence. Some of them, Charlotte, is domestic violence, you know.
Yeah.
But this story right here, I just don't think nobody actually went to him. And like we all keep saying it, nobody went to him and said, here you go, take this
Yeah.
fentanyl. You
Right.
know, like it can be the smallest thing. Like what'd you say?
The peck
The
of
grain of a
pepper. Yeah,
pepper.
grain of pepper. Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think part of that makes me believe that's why no one has been locked up yet.
It is. They said it was going to be a hard case to prosecute because not only did they not, when it happened, one of the wife came in and she sort of started saying he was a drug dealer. There's drugs in his house and things of that nature. So it went from a homicide investigation to a drug investigation in which they didn't find any. They gave him his scale back. They tested it. Nothing tested positive for fentanyl or anything. So they didn't do the proper investigation on the night he died. They didn't go upstairs and do the surface, like, sweep the surfaces and things of that nature. So they said it was going to be a hard case to prosecute if they don't have not only no eyewitnesses, nobody came forward, and they don't have proof.
You
So
know,
it's
one
just
thing that I
circumstances.
tell people all the time, Ashley, is that God gives the biggest revenge. You know, a person can go to prison all day long. They go to jail all day long.
Yeah.
But God, He gives the biggest revenge. I tell people when you see a person walking down the street and their arm fall off,
Oh, I give him
they can barely walk.
right.
Well, I'm just telling the truth. They can barely walk. They had them something just ain't right with them. And we
Yeah.
wonder why. We
Yeah.
wonder why. God take care of his own. That's how I feel like. God take care of
So
his own. And if you
speaking
always
of
gotta
that,
pay for something.
speaking of that, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that he deserved it, but because nobody deserves to lose a child. But a year later, last year, her child died from fentanyl. Her 22-year-old child died from fentanyl. So
Wow.
I sort of feel like it was an eye for an eye type thing. I don't like to think that way, but that's
Mhm.
just that's how the laws of the book go, of the Bible for real. Eye for an eye. And I'm not saying she deserved that. I didn't want to hear that and find that out, and I didn't want justice in that type of way or manner, but she knows my pain now. And I gave her grace and then forgave her before this even happened. So when it happened, it was
Wow.
like a shock to me, but it sort of felt like, you know, um, if she didn't do that, then why did that happen to her kid? So
Mhm.
I'm up in the balance. I still feel bad for her to this day, but I do feel like it was sort of like not karma. I don't want to say losing a child is karma. I hate thinking like that, but do y'all get what I'm saying though?
Get
Like,
what you're saying,
it,
especially
yeah,
when you say an eye for an eye. You know,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
definitely understand what you're saying. Go ahead,
We gotta
Charlotte.
be we gotta be real careful though when we start talking about karma because we all have our sins to bear. And so,
Mm,
and
yeah,
the least as and if we're gonna talk biblically, small sins are a sin still. And so,
mhm.
it is just I think that things happen, life happens.
yeah,
And I'm not saying that there isn't retribution in some way, form, but I think that we leave that to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave it
Yeah.
to his doing, and with everything there is a purpose. And so, it might not be that her losing her daughter right then the purpose is known, but it could be further down the line, or it could be someone else who is paying attention, or whatever the case may be, will be able to, just
Absolutely.
like with your story, we don't go through things for ourselves, we go through things for other people, because hopefully God gets their attention through us, and it gives them the notice that, hey, get your stuff together. This
Absolutely.
could
And that's why I
this
said
could
it. I
be.
didn't know how. Yeah. That's why I said I didn't know how to like really portray what I'm, because I didn't want that to happen. I didn't see that in her future. I didn't say, oh, I hope her kid died. That never came out of my mouth. I didn't want that because I wouldn't wish this pain on my worst enemy. But this is
Exactly.
just like when it happened, I was like, how do I process that?
Mhm.
Because I didn't want, like you said, I don't want to even say karma because what
Oh,
what
we're
was my
human.
karma? Yeah,
We're
yeah,
human. We're
yeah,
human, and you're entitled
and
to feel how you feel because,
yeah,
again, it was so close to home.
yes, yeah,
It was so very close to home, and so there was that small inkling, that afterthought that said that, what, hey, you took mine, I took yours, kind of thing. He took yours.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
and I didn't want to think that way. It sounds terrible. Like
I get
I'm
it.
a gentle soul. Like I don't
And
wish
I can
harm
definitely
on
tell you a
people.
gentle soul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I don't wish harm on people. I didn't. I think even
Mhm.
when I was like when I first posted, I think I said something like, "Dang, God must not play about me or something," because I hate that I heard this news, but can y'all send a prayer up for her because I heard she lost her kid to fentanyl, and somebody was
Mhm.
like, "God didn't spin the block for you," and things of that nature. And I was like, "Damn, I didn't want it to sound that way," because
Yeah.
I didn't want him to spin the block that way. It's just when I heard the
Mhm.
news, it was almost like, was it an eye for an eye? Like I didn't know how to process it, and I still don't for real because.
I was just about to say, I don't think nobody would know how to process that.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? That
It's
was
just like
that is
losing your
wow.
child to gun violence and then finding out the person that killed your baby lost their child to gun violence. Like,
Yeah.
ha- you don't want to see it that way. You didn't want them to feel if you're a gentle person, you don't want them to feel that way, that pain,
Mhm.
but it happened.
I think even the gentleness of us have those moments that, we're
Yeah,
human. It's just
yeah,
being human, but then hopefully, and especially as we get older, and I say to myself all the time, because every time I go to think something, God say, hey, remember you do dot 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 dot.
yep.
Hey,
Me
point
too.
finger, remember, you got the dot 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 dot, and I'd be like, you right, let me go sit
Yep.
down. Let me go
He,
over
like, he
here.
smacks. He
Let me
smacks me.
close my mouth.
Right. He smacks me on the back of my head with his sandal a lot of times. I
Yes,
be
he
having to
does.
check my I'm dead serious. I be having to check myself. And that's why I said, child loss, it's a process. It's like a growth process. And it's helping me grow. It's helping me be more humble. It's helping me be more compassionate, empathetic. Like my level of empathy for people has really enhanced. Like I just like, especially with my addiction and stuff like that. I ain't gonna say I judged them, but I judged them. I was just like, oh, they got a choice, and maybe and that's not the case at all,
Until it
at all.
happens to you.
Yeah,
And like you
yeah.
said at the beginning, we all talk about what we not gonna do and what we I wouldn't add. How many times I done said, oh, I ain't gonna put up with that and be the woo, mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. Just like with child
That's
loss, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's just life. That's just how
Yeah.
life goes through, and then you remember. Hopefully, you remember. You get to that point where you say, you know what? Let me not say that anymore. But again,
Yes,
that
yes,
grace,
yes. Just like
giving yourself that grace, because it's just about
hmm
growth. Life is about growing and getting, learning lessons. We don't stop learning lessons the whole way through it, and so hopefully we learn the lessons so we don't have to keep repeating the lessons
Yes,
over
Exactly.
and over
exactly.
again.
And you will repeat them until you learn it. Me and my daddy was
We
just
Yeah.
talking about that. Yeah,
Yep.
and that's like with child loss with me. I thought I'm like I can't live without my kids. I don't know what I would do before Cash passed. I'm like I don't know what I'd do without my kids. My kids are my world. They the air I breathe, and I go crazy. I kill something off behind my baby, and I did the total opposite. I've done the total opposite. I'm still living. I haven't killed nobody, and it's just like you just never know. I get comments like that all the time, and like, why ain't you go, do something to the girl? If that was my baby, I'd be out there looking for that lady and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
Don't
if
listen
they
to
only knew,
people in their
if
mess.
they only
They
knew,
only
yeah,
knew
Until
if
exactly.
they
they,
walk in someone else's shoes, it's so easy to say, look from somewhere else and say what you woulda, shoulda, coulda done until it
yeah,
becomes you. We have to be
absolutely,
very, very mindful of our words, and especially when we put that on other people. Like,
yeah,
that could have been something ugly for you. It could have gone totally opposite of, it could have created that in you or stirred something up in you. And so, just as people, we have to be real mindful of how we choose our words, especially when people are
Yes.
grieving and
yeah.
suffering.
And the
Yeah.
older you get, you would think people would realize that, but I be going to these profiles and it'd be grown people like in their 70s and 60s, and I'm like, I know,
Hateful,
I,
hurt people, hurt other people. We have to
Yep.
realize that hurt
Yeah.
people hurt other people, and so they still haven't learned their lessons yet, and so they're still
yeah,
spewing their vomit all over people, and that's why we got to stay prayed up and protect ourselves from, words of
absolutely,
those things. That tongue is life or death.
it
Powerful.
do,
Powerful.
it does, and
Mm.
I'm glad you said that because I used to tell people Cash was special, but I felt like he wasn't gonna be here that long, and for the longest, I felt like I spoke that onto him. And it took for me to get all the support from online and realize that my story was so big and so inspirational, and his story is monumental. So it took for all that to be revealed to me to realize that, I didn't speak that onto him, but the power of the tongue, your life and death does
We have
lie in
to
the
be
power of the
careful of
tongue.
it, but you knew you had that inkling or that feeling. That was just something that was in, and it was just meant to be. And we all, I tell the kids all the time, it's that in between, that little death that, because you're born, and we all know we got to die. It just,
Yes,
but
And
it's
yes,
Ashley, I'm here to tell you right now, we have heard, and even though Charlotte just said that this is her first year, full year here with Peachy Time, but we
uh-huh.
have heard so many mothers say that
What
they
did
felt
they?
like they spoke it into existence. So
Wow.
many mothers, but that is not
can't
the
do it.
case at all
Mhm.
whatsoever. We have came down to the last of the show, y'all. The last show for 2025
Yeah.
has ended with Miss Ashley talking
Thank y'all
about
for
baby
having me.
cash and everything. We are gonna end the show with the tribute video, but first, I always tell everybody. So you was the last one for 2025. I ain't tell you. I always wait to the end, but I am gonna let you end the show. I'm gonna ask you a question, and then all you have to do is answer the question. That's it.
Okay.
All
All
right. So first, Charlotte, is there anything that you want to say for 2025, which is almost out of here, baby? We ain't got that much longer to go. Is there anything that you want to say for your last bit for 2025?
Again, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for that light. Even through the tears, God is good. And so you
Absolutely.
are a true essence of it. You're a true, a powerful being. Just even the story that you have upon yourself and just the whole gamut of it. It's a purpose and a reason. So keep fighting, just keep being strong.
Thank
2026 is just gonna get better for all of us, regardless of what we see and do. We gonna shake that up off of us, even if you got to
yeah.
stop watching the news and listening to all that other. We just got to remember that we are powerful beings,
Yeah.
and that we've got to stay in our communities and keep fighting for our people, because ain't nobody else gonna do it for us. That's number one. But that word grace, it just keeps resonating in my spirit. And so as we go into 2026, giving each other grace, but especially giving ourselves grace, and knowing that God is good to all of us, and he does pop us upside our head every now and then, but knowing that his whatever it is that he saw fit to put us here for, it will come to pass. And so just knowing that we all have a purpose in each and every day. Wake up with a brand new feeling, even when it gets rough. Keep smiling. As I tell the kids at my school all the time, I'm gonna fake it till I make it. I just keep saying hello and smiling until I start feeling it in my spirit some kind of way. You got to reach deep down some days.
Yeah.
All right, well,
But you all
Shirley,
have a
thank
great
you
one.
so much. And I know you got to go to work in the morning. So Charlotte is about to get out of here. I love you, darling, and I will see you on Saturday, baby.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say 2026, but Saturday. Yeah. Have
Yes,
a
we'll
good
see.
one. You all be blessed.
Thank you so much for
Bye.
encouraging, uplifting me, Miss Charlotte. I really needed
Not a
that.
problem.
Thank you.
Not a
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
told
how
you
to
we
get.
love her. Bye. I got you. Girl, we love Miss Charlotte over here at Peachy Time.
Yeah.
But Ashley, thank you again so much. I thank you for trusting me with Baby Cash story. I really hope I did justice for you, baby. I hope that you is completely happy with the show. Oh yes,
Yes,
baby. Yes.
yes,
Look,
thank you.
clock that tea, baby. We clocking it over here. We clocking it.
Yeah.
But yes, I love you so much. I thank you. I thank your sister Carmelo for coming on the show just as well. I thank your family and friends that was out there. Baby, they was out there in that chat for you tonight. Carmen, I saw you out there, Carmen. I love you, boo. I love you so much. And each and every person that watched this show tonight. Like Ashley said, the drug dealers. You know, on here, I'm always fussing about how gang members, people that's in that gang life and everything, just just give up rights to your kids. Give up rights to your kids, give up rights to your family, all that, and go on ahead and stay in the gang world, because in the gang world, you putting us at risk too. Your family and your friends, your kids, you putting us all at risk. I tell y'all that all the time. Tonight is a new night, a different night rather. We never had a show like this before. So now I'm gonna say it to the people. I'm sorry, as I gotta say it, the drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Keep your kids away from that mess, man. Keep your kids away from it. You know?
Absolutely.
I don't know Cash's father. I don't know him at all. I just met Ashley. But to all every single drug dealer out there, keep keep away from these kids with this stuff, man. Cause anything can happen. As we seen tonight. Anything can happen. We know that this hurts Cash's dad. We know it hurts his family, his friends, all of that. But at the same time, be mindful of what we're doing out here in these streets around these kids, not around these kids. Because at the end of the day, when we have kids, that's what we're living for. These children. Okay? Now, the question that you gotta answer to where you end the show. Usually I would have told you, talk to the girl. You know, if you had something to say, what would you say to her? I don't even want to go that route. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't even want to go that route. I feel like there's another purpose for you on here on Peachy Time. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to speak to every woman out there that has listened to your story tonight, that has said, how can I be like her? I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want to have a baby. But what can I do to get off of these drugs?
Okay.
What can I do? So that's what I want you to say. Now she having a little coughing attack right now, y'all. She having a little coughing attack. Look, give us a
I'm like,
second.
it
Let's
came
keep
from nowhere. You literally see me. I'm sitting there and it's
Yeah, I see.
okay.
Like, oh my gosh, I can't get it together. I can't get it together. I
I'm
get it. I
trying to,
see.
girl.
Yeah, it is okay.
It's like a
Look, this is what
coffee
we gonna
won't
do.
come up.
We finna go into a small little commercial break, okay? Just a little small while you do that, okay?
Okay.
And we'll be right
Okay.
back,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Computer issues? Can't find a nearby computer store or tech? No need to worry, Computer Tech is a computer repair mobile service. Not in Georgia, no need to worry, Computer Tech can remote into your computer as well. Prices are starting as low as $40. Services are virus removal, data recovery, data transfer, hardware installation, software installation, computer tune-up, laptop and desktop, home and online. Contact 404-405-8515 and ask for Tony, and don't forget to tell them Ms. Peachy sent you.
All right, y'all. We are back. We are back. We are back. All right, look like she ready. She ready.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna pull myself down. I'm gonna pull myself down. You will have the whole screen to yourself.
Okay.
You guys, I love you all so much. I'm gonna do just a little small quick live after I get done speaking with Ashley after the show. Ashley, if you could just stick around for just probably about 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, after I end the broadcast, just so I can tell you a couple things. But to everyone out there, I love you. I thank you. Baby, 2026 is right around the corner, baby. Let's make it the best. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's make it your best. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, baby, because it's definitely gonna be my best. And I do say that every year, but that's what I'm supposed to say. So I'll see y'all in a hot second. To my Facebook users, I'll see y'all in a hot second. And trust me, the video gonna be very short. All right, I love you guys. 2026, baby, let's go.
Right. Okay. So, anybody following Miss Peachy and me and my story? Um, if y'all are struggling, any woman or male struggling with getting off of drugs, um, my first advice would be to talk to God daily. Like really talk to God, tell him send you signs and come to him with the open heart and with seriousness, should I say. But just come to him and talk to him like I'm talking to you. You know, God ain't one to take, it doesn't, you don't need to be on your knees and all that type of things. You can talk to him just like you're talking to me, or I'm talking to you, should I say. But you just go to God and ask him to take away those desires, those cravings. That was my prayer before I found out I was pregnant with Cash. That was my exact prayers. Like, I'm tired. I need help. I can't do this on my own. And you have to surrender. You have to be willing to surrender. What helped me stay off of drugs, even while my baby has been gone, I got 6 years clean. He died when he was 3. Every year that I get clean, he should be a year that age. So, say I get 15 years, he should be 15 years old. So, I'm going to honor him that way, definitely by staying clean, because I wouldn't have gotten my life back if it wasn't for him. But what I do is um, I think about where I was and how dark of a place I was at, and all the things that I did that I thought I would never do in order to get a substance. Um, I know it wasn't worth. It's not worth me losing my sobriety over. So, my advice though would just look within yourself. Find that strength. Um, find something to live for. I live for my son, and I'm still living for my son, even though he's gone. So that would be my advice. Just find your purpose, find what is worth living for, and think of all the good things that you can get. Like I was an addict living in a basement before I got clean, and now I got a house. Now I got a ring on my finger. Now I got my husband, my job. I'm just blessed. So that's my advice.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ashley. You definitely got a new friend in me, girl. A new friend in me. We definitely gonna continue to link up. We definitely gonna keep Baby Cash name alive over here on Peachy Tea Time. Okay. Now, y'all, we are out of here. I love you guys. I came back up because I forgot to tell Ashley to put that church finger up. I forgot to tell her. So here we go, y'all. We out of here. One more again for Baby Cash. Rest in peace up there in baby heaven, Baby Cash. And here go that tribute video. Love you guys. Bye.
We had our memories. We had our time together. It's hard that I can't see you now. See you face to face. But I know you in the sky looking down. But it's still hard to tell. That you're not here physically. Yeah, it gets emotional sometimes. Yeah, it gets hard because you're not here. And you're gone away. Up in the sky somewhere. I hope we meet again. I hope I see my love again. Yeah, it gets so difficult to know you're not here. And oftentimes I cry to sleep in tears. But I hope I'll be up there one day. One day. To see your face again. I know you're in a better place. I know you're at peace up there.
Oh, look at that. You want me to blow it up? Okay, I'll blow it up. I'll blow it up, baby. What's up? What's up, bud?
Yeah, it gets emotional sometimes. Yeah, it gets hard because you're not here. And you're gone away. Up in the sky somewhere. I hope we meet again. I hope I see my love again. Yeah, it gets so difficult to know you're not here. And oftentimes I cry to sleep in tears. But I hope I'll be up there one day. One day. To see your face again. I know you up there. Up there. I miss you down here. I wish I had one